This is a quick and friendly reminder that it might be time to clean your sewing machine. Plus, I wanted to share a couple tips for people who are new or nervous about cleaning their sewing machines for the very first time. So first of all, I use this magnetic pin catcher to hold my little metal doodads that I use to unscrew the needle plate. So I start unscrewing with this little metal tool, but it's very unwieldy, so I usually end up finishing unscrewing it with my hand. Just more simple, especially when the screw starts to get really wobbly. And then I put the screw safely on the magnetic pin catcher because I'm going to lose it if I don't put it somewhere safe. So a magnetic pin catcher is great. If you have a Ziploc, that might work, but whatever's going to keep that safe and keep you from losing it. I do unfortunately have to peel off a little bit of my seam guide, but there's still a lot left on my bobbin case cover, so I'm good to go. Now, my biggest tip when you're working inside of your machine like this is to be gentle. Don't force anything. You don't want to bend or break something that you have no name for. You know, you don't want to have to take it in for professional help. So here is the inside. Look how fuzzy. I haven't cleaned it in like probably at least 6 months, and I honestly thought it was going to look a lot worse in there than it does, but it definitely needs a clean. It's looking rough. I got these little cleaning tools last fall, and yes, this is the first time I'm going to be testing them out. That's how long it's been since I've cleaned. They look like mascara wands without any mascara on them. Anyway, I start by getting the stuff sort of at the top, the obvious stuff. Sort of some light dusting basically at this point. But eventually you do need to get into all those little nooks and crannies. Be brave, but be gentle. So don't break or bend anything, but you can get into those nooks and crannies. There's stuff hiding way down there that you cannot see, but you know it's down there. And I think this purple one is best for the stuff on top, and I eventually found out that the green one was better for getting inside the smaller spaces. So you saw I did a quick little pass around the bobbin case, but the real big hoard of fluff is underneath the bobbin case. So here's another tip that I always share. Take a picture of your sewing machine guts before you start moving things around so that you have sort of like a guide to refer back to later so you don't have to guess where things go. You'll know where they go. So pay attention to the details and remember to do everything very gently and purposefully. Now you can see here the green wands are really good to get down into the narrower little nooks and crannies, but sometimes the fluff just doesn't want to come all the way up, so I use these tweezers. They work so well, they're so effective. And then I don't really use a methodology to get through here. I just kind of go where the wind takes me, and it's actually pretty frustrating to watch this back because I see little areas that I missed when I was cleaning because I only looked from one point of view. I should have gotten up and looked from the side here and there so I could see these areas that I missed. But overall, I find this, I'm not like a neat freak, but I find this process like really relaxing and sort of satisfying. It's like a weird quilter's edition of Operation. The first few times I did it, I was a nervous wreck. I thought I was going to break something or ruin my machine, but that has never happened, thankfully. So just refer to your sewing machine manual, or if you're really nervous, get professional help instead. Now here is the lint that I managed to get out of my machine. And again, I really thought that there was going to be a lot more. But these little wands, I would recommend them. I'm going to link to them in my video description if I can find them, because they worked pretty well. I liked them. And the very last thing I do is floss my feed dog's teeth. And I don't know what it is about this process, but I find it so satisfying. I've actually watched the unedited version of this video several times over, but it's just so satisfying to get those little chunks of fuzz out of those grooves. And here is the final result. It looks so much better. So much less furry. It's not perfect, but it is a definite improvement. So from here, I'm just going to reverse all of the steps. So I'm going to replace the bobbin case, put the needle plate back on, gotta wiggle it in a little bit there. Then I put in the screws and I start off with my hands because they're so wobbly. And then when I get down to about there, I use that little metal doodad to tighten it up nice and tight. Put the bobbin back in, rethread the machine, and last but not least, put the bobbin case cover back on. Now is also an excellent time to put in a brand new sewing machine needle. It's another thing that I put off and I forget to do. I don't do this often enough. So you're going to unscrew the needle screw here, and as you take your needle out, look at the orientation. So you can see the rounded part is in front, and if I flip it, the back part is flat. And I need to remember that when I put my new needle in. So here's my new one. The flat was in front, so I rolled it around so that the curved part is in front. And then very gingerly, without poking myself, I'm going to replace it in that same place and screw it in very tightly, because I've had a needle fall out before because I didn't screw it in tightly enough. And after all of that is done, the very last thing I do is a tension test. So I take 2 layers of fabric and I run it through my machine like any old project I'd be working on to make sure that my stitches are even and well tensioned. And this is a good way to make sure that your machine is healthy and you haven't threaded something wrong or broken something or misplaced some random piece. So actually I do one of these whenever I change the bobbin, rethread the machine, or change my needle. So it's a good thing to keep by your sewing machine. Just to, keep an eye on the health of your machine, because without your machine, what are you going to do? Thanks for spending time with me today, quilters. If you want to support this channel and help me buy supplies and materials for future videos, please visit my Buy Me a Coffee page linked in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye!